Let me. It's here, okay, we're at a convention. I get it. And then we're just going to bounce back and forth. But it still left a lot of folks like, what the heck did I just invest 5 years into? Like, basically, I felt like this JV basketball player being pulled up to varsity and being like, don't it up, kid. Like, that's what it felt like. Most importantly, go to therapy. Oh my gosh. Hi. 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 Good morning. I love you, Chicago. I love you so damn much. I love you so much. What an incredible welcome. Thank you. Have a seat. Have a seat. Actually, no. Stand back up. Stand back up. Stand back up. Everybody just shake it out a little bit. Just shake it out a little bit. I really like talking to you guys directly. Even if you ask the same question sometimes over and over again, I'm happy to indulge you in that because that's why I'm here. We're at a convention so that we can all hang out together and get to the bottom of shit, right? So, without any further ado, I'd like to open it up to any questions that anybody has. There's a microphone here and there's a microphone there. I'm going to start over here since this person popped up first, but then I'm coming right there. And then we're just gonna bounce back and forth. Like, Chuck is always like so near and dear to my heart. And kind of answering your question, sir, like, Chuck was probably the most me I've ever been cast as. I showed up and literally was just being myself more often than not. Shazam is a close second. And even though he's a 14-year-old child in the first movie and, you know, he's roughly 17, 18 in the second, I have always been a Peter Pan man-child who loves fun. Also, I'm an actor, and as an actor, we're constantly like being asked to just use our imagination. So it really does kind of keep you young. You know, if you lean into that, you can really kind of allow that to keep you in that younger space. And I've just always been that guy anyway. So when it comes to playing Billy Batson, you know, what I tried to do, I tried to age him up a little bit in the second movie, you know, because from 14 to 17 is a pretty marked difference in anybody's life, particularly a young boy. And then beyond that, you know, just trying to look at, well, what do 17-year-olds, how do they act right now? What do they do? What do they think? And how do they talk? And some of you have 17-year-olds, or you are 17-year-olds, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, like in the first movie, for example, the floss dance was like all the rage. I was like, well, I'm going to floss. And then that made it in the movie, you know? So, yes, so listen, guys, I swear to you when I say it in other panels and when I say it online, I mean it. I had been trying to make a Chuck movie since before we even finished the show. I was like, well before other people were turning their shows into movies. I was like, guys, there's no reason. I saw the online trajectory. I saw that we were going to be having content streaming nonstop. And I was like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing this right now. But of course, nobody listened to me then. But my hope, my goal, and I've had even recent meetings to this effect, is to... It's very difficult to get the whole gang back together for a whole new season. However, and all you Chuck fans, you know this, every episode was basically a mini 80s action movie anyway. So I think if they just gave us, you know, a bit more money and a bit more time, we could easily go make a Chuck movie. And if that works, and again, whether that's in theaters or just streaming, I don't know what that would ultimately be. But either way, my goal, my passion is to continue our stories from where we left off with the series. Because A, I think it's fertile fucking ground to make really fun content. But B, like a lot of you people out there, I was left a little like at the end of the show. A little, now, which is not to say that I don't. I think Chris and Josh and our writers, I think they actually were attempting to do something really clever, which is if you watch the show all the way to the end, and now you have, well, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it. And you allow this idea that Chuck is telling Sarah about their past, you go back and rewatch the show as if it's Chuck telling Sarah about the past. So it's kind of a cool device in that regard. But it still left a lot of folks like, what the heck did I just invest 5 years into? if she forgot everything, and I don't believe that for a second. If I believe that she remembers, whether magically like Morgan believes she did, or because I help her to remember and then she remembers stuff. I don't know, but I think we all deserve a movie to say that's in fact what happened. So that's the goal, and I'll get, if we make a movie, and by the way, if it gets to the point where it's an actual crowdfund situation, I will let you guys know on social media, and I will need you to firestorm that across the world, okay? And even if it's not a full crowdfund, I might just go to you guys on social media and say, hey, I'm sitting down with, such and such executive at Warner Brothers. I would like to show them that there is an appetite for a Chuck movie out there. I'm gonna need all you guys to tweet them like crazy. Okay? All right. And when we get that movie done, I promise you we'll do a fun Chuck convention tour. And I will personally drag Yvonne to the conventions, and Josh Gomez, and Ryan McPartland, and Sarah Lancaster, and our boys from Jeffster, and anybody else who can come, because you guys, the love that you have given us over all these years is never not felt. Every one of us has felt that, and every one of us has appreciated that. So thank you, appreciate that. Thank you, sir. So I loved doing theater all through growing up, and I always dreamed about obviously doing film and television and stuff, but also doing Broadway. So I did a show called First Date, which was in 2000. Oh, okay. Thank you. That was the first Broadway show I did, and I had only done that show by the time then I got offered She Loves Me. And that show, for anybody who is unaware, it was a revival of a show we did for the Roundabout Theater Company, but it was stacked full of like super talented veteran theater people, and I was like this sophomore, like basically I felt like this JV basketball player being pulled up to varsity and being like, don't fuck it up, kid. Like that's what it felt like. In a lot of respects, but it was also so rewarding and so fulfilling. I have memories with that entire group of people that will last throughout my lifetime. I was nominated for a Tony Award. I mean, all of these incredible blessings that poured forth from that. And not for nothing, quite a large little something is Amy Sherman Palladino and Dan Palladino, who are the writer-creators of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Gilmore Girls and things of that nature. They came to the show, and they knew the director of the show, Scott Ellis, because he also directs on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and they went to him and said, hey, we really like that Zach guy. What do you think? He spoke kindly of me. I'm very grateful for it. And it was because of them seeing me in that show that ultimately led to me being Benjamin in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So a lot of really great things came out of that experience. Very grateful for it. Most importantly, go to therapy. Yeah. If you want to be the best actor that you can be, you go to therapy. You want to be the best plumber you can be, you go to therapy. You want to be the best you. The best way to be the best anything is to be the best you. And the best way to be the best you is to figure out all of the shit that is going on inside of your heart and mind that you're unaware of. And guess what? We are all so unaware of so many things, guys, that are going on in our hearts and minds. And that's okay. That's called trauma. That's normal. We all have that going on in us. Every single one of us needs at least a little bit of therapy. Some of us need a lot. I think I liken mental health to dental health. It's all very much about preventative medicine, okay? If you brush and floss your teeth on a regular basis, guess what? You don't need a root canal 2 years on. If you brush and floss your mind on a regular basis, you don't have mental breakdowns like I had when I turned 37 and literally didn't want to live anymore, which is what led to me writing that book and talking about that on Found and all that kind of stuff. But I really suggest you don't wait until you're 37 to have a mental breakdown and not want to live. I suggest that you go and talk to your friends and family first, allow them to buoy you, tell you that you are worthy of getting therapy and investing in yourself and loving yourself, because that's the most important ingredient. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, okay? Are you loving yourself?
I am. I'm
going
to therapy myself.
Good. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Try to think back. When was the last time, and this is hard for a lot of us, for you, young man in the front row, you've probably been doing this very regularly, using your imagination. For adults, try to think back, when was the last time you had like toys or action figures and you were and you were thinking about, well, okay, maybe some of you have been doing, you know what? It's here, okay, we're at a convention, I get it. They had an idea of what Flynn was supposed to look like before I got cast. Apparently they went to a whole, they did this poll. They polled all these people working at Disney, I think particularly the ladies, but gentlemen as well. And they asked them, like, what are all the attributes that you find most attractive in a cartoon character? I swear to God, they did this. And they put that through that algorithm, the human algorithm, not AI. And that's how they came up with Flynn Rider. He was the most handsome Disney prince they'd ever created. Which then naturally, I somehow found my way to. So that was really fun. That I got to just, audition for this thing and wind up. Look, and I know that I'm biased, I get it, but honestly, Flynn is the best. He is the Han Solo of Disney princes. He's got so much personality and charm and funniness and all of the things, and I'm so stoked that I got to be him. The irony was that when I auditioned for the role, they were only reading English actors because Flynn originally had an English accent. And they almost didn't see me. In fact, they weren't seeing any American actors. They were like, no, we need English actors because we need an authentic English accent. And fortunately, my voiceover agent, she knew that I did English accents, and she was like, please, just see Zach, and he can sing and whatever. And they're like, okay. And then I went in, and I did all of the audition as Flynn, and he was English. And like all the lines or whatever it was, so I did it all as English. And they were like, okay, I guess they could kind of do that. And then, and we were asked to bring a singer-songwriter song to sing for them, and I sang Sweet Baby James by James Taylor, which is a banger, by the way, if you don't know that one. And based on all that, they're like, okay, we're going to call you back. And I got called back, and I sang At Last I See the Light as for my callback song. I went and learned that. I know, another banger. And Alan Menken, guys. I mean, Glenn Slater, insane. And so then I ended up getting cast in the role. And then only after that I think it was Lasseter? I don't know. It was somebody high up at Disney. They realized that never in any of their movies did either their prince or princess have anything other than a standard American accent. And they didn't want to veer from that. And so they called my agents back, and they were like, so, can Zach do that? And I was like, can I do this? You want me to just talk like me? Okay, yeah, fine, I can do that.